stuffed okra recipe with you. And for this recipe, you need some okra, of course, and some potatoes. And these are two boiled potatoes, one really small and one big potato. And in spices, we have a little simplistic way of making this. So I don't have my whole shebang of spices. I have a mix of spices from our pickles. So these are the spices which were put in the pickles, and at the bottom of the pickle towards the end there's a lot of masala left, and that's the masala, that's mix of spices I'm going to use to make stuffing for the bhindi. And the spices I have used out is from this Gondal red chili pickle. And if you go to the Indian store, you can find this pickle. In most Indian stores I have seen it here, but you can use the mix of spice from any of the pickles available. So it's just a personal choice. And in India we have many kinds of pickles. Every state and region has different kind of pickles, which is totally a different mix of spices, different proportion of spices. So it's really a personal choice. And if you don't have the pickle, then you can season the potatoes with simple curry powder or any mix of spice you like for your taste. And along with that, I have some salt, pepper, and some turmeric. And I have a little ghee here to coat our okra. To start this recipe, we need to prepare our okra, and here I have prepared the okra by cutting the ends and slitting it in between like this, where we are going to put the filling. So I have saved two okras to show you how to do it. So we have to just take the ends out and make a slit like this, and here we will put the stuffing. I can show you one more time. Just take the ends out, take a knife, make a slit, and this is how we are going to prepare the okra for this recipe. So next step is to mash these potatoes. So we are going to mash these potatoes to stuff the okra or bhindi, and add our masala from the pickle in this. So this is a complete masala in itself, and I'm going to use my hands here to mash it nicely. You can use a potato masher, or you can use your hands if your hands are clean. It's your personal choice really how you want to mash it. And I always feel the hands work the best. So we can mesh this very nicely, and then I'm going to add the masala in the potatoes. And mix it really good. So this mix of spices from the pickles already has some salt, so we really don't need to add the salt at this point. But if you think you need some more salt, you can add some more salt. But for my case here with this masala, I don't need any additional salt in this mix of potatoes. And you can see little bits of chili peppers, skins from the pickle, and I'm going to just take this out because I don't want this coming in the mouth while eating. Especially kids, they just it's hard for them to handle all these things. So I have my potato mix ready to stuff the bhindi or okra. And to start this process, first I'm going to heat up this pan, and then I will fill up the okra and start stacking it here. So I have a ghee here, and I'm going to just next step is to fill this okra and just stack here. So I'm just going to use my hands, take a little bit potatoes and fill up like this. Stuff it like this, and I'm going to put it here in my pan. And this pan is going to go in the oven. So I have started heating the oven at 350 degrees right now. And after I am done filling up these bhindis or okras, I'm going to put it in the oven. Last okra or bhindi, and you can see how perfectly all the potatoes got filled in that, and I don't have any leftover potatoes. Usually sometimes I get the leftover potatoes also, because it's very hard to estimate for how many bhindis, how many potatoes. I think that just comes by experience. So sometimes I have leftover, sometimes I don't, but kind of I think this time it just worked out fine. Now I have all the okra stuffed with the potatoes, and I'm just going to quickly transfer these here, because to make it crunchy I have to baste them with some ghee. So I'm just going to transfer slowly on this in this bowl where they came from. I just have to be careful. Usually the potatoes, they don't come out that easy. Once they are stuck in there, they are there. I'm going to baste the bhindi with some ghee and just lay it out on this pan. So I have the last bhindi here, and it's all basted up and ready to go in the oven. But before we put it in the oven, I'm going to sprinkle it a little bit of salt, because the stuffing has the masala but bhindi doesn't, and I will put very little salt at this point, and then we turn it around halfway in between of cooking and put some salt on the other side. And here is some black pepper, very little black pepper, because you don't want everybody coughing in your home with the heat. And very little turmeric. I have a heated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to place my okra in the oven. And I'm going to bake this okra for almost 30 minutes. And in between 30 minutes, at around 15 minutes, we are going to take out the okra and turn it around, sprinkle a little more salt and pepper and turmeric, and then I will stick it again in the oven. 15 minutes and okra is somewhat done, and I'm going to move the okra sideways to cook from all the sides, and I will put it back in the oven at the same temperature. Okra is all turned over, and I'm going to put it back in the oven for 15 more minutes. So idea is to cook first on a slow heat, and then to make it crunchier, I'm going to put it on higher temperature later. So 15 more minutes on a slow heat, I'm going to put it in the oven. So this is how okra looks like after 15 minutes of more cooking. So now I'm going to put the okra back in the oven with little higher temperature and it's around 450, and cook it for another 30 minutes until it gets crunchy. So this is how okra looks like after cooking at 450, and if you like the crunch at this point, you can stop it, or if you want to make it more crunchier, you can cook it for some more time. And another way to do this is if you have a broil option in your oven. So the last stage, instead of doing at 450, you can just simply put it on broil for less than 5 minutes or sometimes 5 minutes. So broil is very different for different ovens. So whenever you put on a broil, you need to watch it. So 5 minutes, you can just make it crunchier after it's cooked at the initial stages. So if you like this stuffed and baked okra recipe, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.